First of all, thank you so much for having me here. Quick introduction. I run a venture capital fund called IvyCap Ventures. We manage around 4,500 crores, all domestic capital. We are investing primarily in Series A companies. We invest anywhere between 30 to 50 crores, taking about 20-30% stakes in companies. So that's what we do. We have a portfolio of about 40 companies. We stay invested for about 5 to 7 years, and then we exit through M&A or even IPO in some cases. Let me just, I think, some of it you've already heard in the morning from my friend Mohit, Red Steer Consulting. I think you already know broadly what's happening in the industry, but I think the key point I want to highlight here is actually we are just scratching the surface here. When we look at opportunities, in the space, we always look for where is the next billion-dollar business opportunity. So I think when we look at D2C as the space, I think we actually see a huge potential, especially if you look at the numbers. We're talking about a $12 billion market in 22, and which is growing to about 60 billion by 27. And if you look at the penetration, e-commerce penetration, we're talking about going from 8% to 15%. That's basically taking the online market from $1 billion to $9 billion. So I think that's a substantial growth we're talking about. So if you're actually in this space, that's the kind of size of the opportunity you're talking about. Of course, we've seen that if you compare with the countries, of course, US is number one, which is actually $129 billion, followed by China, which is 25 billion. And of course, India is not too far, but I think we are expecting, given the size of our population and the way we are growing with the internet penetration, I think we are likely to see a substantial scale. Of course, if you look at the overall picture in terms of how the demographics look like, again, we are seeing a trend of the urbanization of the population. So therefore, obviously, there is a opportunity from the brand's perspective to really position their brands accordingly. There is also, a population which is, we already talk about the young population in the country, and even the fact that the people who are currently Gen Z people, even if they go beyond the age of 30, they'll continue to display the same habits that they have today in terms of, using online ways of doing things. Of course, we've seen other factors like the regulatory framework is evolving and supporting the ecosystem. And obviously, the India GDP is, we all aware of that, growing from 3.5 trillion to maybe 25 trillion as we talk about it, making India one of the top 3 economies in the world in the next 20-25 years. So therefore, all the entrepreneurs sitting here, how many entrepreneurs here in this hall? Yeah, quite a sizable number. So I think you guys are in the right spot, right time, right stage. And if you're in the D2C business, I think there is a huge opportunity waiting for you. Of course, again, all these numbers are very well known to people, but I just still wanted to set the context in terms of the size of the opportunity. The fact that there is that urban-rural aspect of this opportunity, we also see, while a lot of these new models that have become unicorns today, they're also now capturing the opportunity in the tier 2, tier 3 markets, which is pretty sizable market. We're talking about almost about 1 billion people now in the rural market. We're talking about 1.4 billion population and 900 million odd people actually still in the remote areas of tier 3, tier 4, and even in rural. So that's a pretty sizable opportunity in itself. The online penetration, the smartphone users, if you look at the numbers, this itself tells you what kind of opportunity is sitting out there in terms of capturing that population. Especially we talked about the young population now really completely hooked on to smartphones and internet users itself. You look at 1.3 billion people we're talking about by 2030. So therefore, obviously, this is something all the entrepreneurs sitting here, I think I would say that you guys are sitting at the right place, right time. Again, how are we looking at what is this D2C, right? So we're talking about D2C, is the direct to consumer. Is this something new? I mean, of course, the phenomena has happened in the last few years when people started going direct to consumers. And of course, there is a trend which we are seeing is that eventually it's all leading towards personalization. So what I mean by personalization is that basically people want to know you as an individual, what you eat, what you wear, what you like in terms of your entertainment, what you like in terms of your travel. All those personalized habits, personalized way of doing things is what technology can do. In today's world, of course, Google, we all use Google. Google has been tracking everything that you do. Every click you do online is being captured. You're giving away your way of thinking. So I think that is something which is actually driving the way the business is being done these days. Of course, we talked about the enablers. In fact, Vikas gave a very good presentation, about DHL. Logistics is a very key piece in the whole picture, but there are other enablers in the ecosystem which are required in order to make sure that this entire thing is done well. Now, I think I just want to talk a little bit more about how we look at the space and how at IvyCap Ventures we are also looking at investing in this space. Now, if you look at the overall trends, of course, 2021 was an aberration year, and all these investors which are shown at the bottom have been investing in D2C space. But we actually have been investing in D2C since 2014-15, and some of the companies that we invested in are listed here. I'll just give you one example. Maybe I'll pick up Bluestone as an example. We invested in Bluestone in 2015, and that time when they came to us, it was a pure online jewelry business. Imagine that in 2015 somebody comes to you and says, I'm going to sell jewelry only online. And one would think, how can you buy jewelry without touching and feeling it? So, but I think the key thing that time, which made a lot of sense, was that you can use technology to understand your likings and dislikings. So when you're actually going to a site and clicking on maybe the earrings or nose pins or rings, or there's a certain behavior you're displaying. Basically, you're showing what designs you like, what colors you like, what trends you like. So effectively, there's a lot of that insight you're giving about yourself, and that actually helps in therefore deciding what designs would suit you. So the whole idea was about using AI to actually understand your personal preferences, and that's how this whole business started with a computer science engineer from IIT Delhi, who actually started this, then actually scaled this business from 1 crore in 2015 when we invested in them to 1,200 crores today. And similarly, if you look at Clovia, that time when we invested in them 2015, their whole idea was that they're going to get into this lingerie business and they'll be selling lingerie online. And that time it was a new concept that people will be buying lingerie online. But I think it was the same thing, using technology to understand the consumer's preferences, behavior, and making sure that you're able to give them what they really need and what they really want. So I think this company, when we invested in them in 2015, they were just about 50-60 lakh rupees of revenue. We sold this company to Reliance last year for 940 crores. So these are some of the examples, and of course, these are a few others. In fact, Biryani by Kilo, we invested in 2019 when they were just very small, just a few cloud kitchens, and today there are 160 cloud kitchens, and it's become the brand of choice in biryani. And there are many other companies that we invested in the D2C space. We invested in Eggos, which is actually an eggs brand, becoming the largest national brand for eggs. And there are quite a few enabling players also. Celsius is a recent investment that we made, which is actually a cold chain logistics platform, and now becoming the largest cold chain logistics platform. Miko is another one, which is actually a companion robot for kids, which is, again, communicating with kids, helping them do their homework and other things. So the overall trend, if you see, and of course, Purple is another interesting example. We invested 15 crores in the company, taking 30% stake in 2015 when they were very small, and today they are doing about 100 crore turnover per month, basically becoming one of the unicorns. So there's just a few examples here, and of course, I already talked about what we do, but just to give you an example of the size of the investments, etc., we've done. But part of it is, at the core of it is the model that we operate with is the IIT alumni platform that we've created, and we invest through that platform. It's not that we only invest in the IIT alumni, but that's the platform we have created. We also are very serious about sustainability, which is actually something that we look for in every company and also help them achieve their sustainable goals. IvyCamp is a platform that we work through with entrepreneurs. So any entrepreneurs who believe that they need support beyond funding, this is a platform where we actually work with them, hand-holding them, providing mentorship guidance before they get ready for even raising funds. So that's about it. I know it's a very limited time, so I just wanted to cover a brief of what we do and how we look at D2C. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, I need a mic over here. Vikram, you asked how many people in the room were entrepreneurs and in the D2C space. Can I get that show of hands again, please? Entrepreneurs in the D2C space? Okay, how many of you are in the B2B space servicing these entrepreneurs in the D2C space? See, they slowly come up. They slowly come up. I think that's another ecosystem in itself. Helping out the people. You've done it with venture capital. DHL earlier was talking about how they can work on logistics, Logic ERP, Green Honchos, a number of the speakers we have over here. But there's that other side in helping these guys who've never been entrepreneurs before build up that ecosystem where you can sell it for 900 crores, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So totally agree with that. In fact, of course, these young entrepreneurs many times, as I think Mohit was talking about during his Red Seer presentation, that there's a ceiling that they hear, that they face beyond a certain scalability, and many times they're not able to think beyond. And even at the time of starting, many times they don't know what questions to ask. So that's the time, that's what I was talking about. IvyCamp platform, the team actually helps them think through that and ask the right questions upfront. The size of the market, business model, which is capital efficient, and many other things.
Just to give you guys a perspective on how things have changed for us. 25 years ago, I set up the first foreign venture capital fund for India, the Oppenheimer Fund. And our startup investment at that time was HDFC Bank. So there's HDFC Bank, and then there's Clovia. And look at how things have changed since then, right?
Oh, you know it, and absolutely. So, yeah, some of these things when you're investing at that time, you don't envision that you can actually reach that kind of a scale. But and HDFC Bank is a great example.
Yeah, but let me tell you, it's nowhere near getting to 1500x where you got. Great, thank you. Vikram is going to be around. Catch up with him.
Thank you.
If nothing else, he'll buy you a drink even if he doesn't give you any money.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.